Imagine a time when women needed help just to breathe. A time when every movement was restricted by heavy fabrics, tight corsets, and patterns that felt more like cages. Now, close your eyes and think about the transformation that came with the beginning of the 1910s. It was the moment when fashion stopped being just about appearance and became a cry for freedom. In the early 1910s, the streets of New York and Paris were still filled with long skirts, tight corsets, and extravagant hats. The female silhouette was controlled, forcibly shaped to fit an ideal. But quietly, something was beginning to change. Society was restless. Women started occupying spaces that had once been forbidden, and the world, on the brink of World War I, was preparing to be reshaped. The first spark of this revolution came from where it was least expected: discomfort. In 1914, a young woman named Clarice Crosby, tired of suffocating corsets, sewed something new at home. 2 strips of fabric joined by ribbons. The first modern bra was born, a simple gesture, yet symbolic. The female body was finally beginning to breathe. As the war progressed, the transformation accelerated. Thousands of men were sent to the front, and women took over factories, offices, and production lines. Clothing needed to keep up with this new pace. Skirts became shorter, fabrics lighter, and cuts more functional. What had once been nearly fashion became a necessity. For the first time, dressing freely was a form of survival and a form of assertion. In shop windows, French luxury gave way to American pragmatism. The absence of Paris collections created space for new ideas, born from the streets and real life. Practical, straight styles emerged, with simple lines and no excess. It was proof that power and elegance could walk hand in hand. The woman who had once been only a decorative symbol was now a social force. And it wasn't just the clothing that changed, it was the attitude. Each new cut of fabric seemed to cut away a piece of the old limitations. Freedom of movement reflected freedom of thought. Women began driving cars, working in previously male-dominated professions, and fighting for their rights. And, even without realizing it, each of them was strutting down the runways of history. The climax of this silent revolution came at the end of the decade, when the old ideal of a cinched waist was replaced by a straight, almost androgynous silhouette. Form was no longer the protagonist. The woman finally became the center. It was a precursor to the roaring 20 segundos, when femininity would become synonymous with boldness. But the most remarkable thing is that this transformation didn't start on the runways. It was born from necessity, courage, and real life. The 1910s was the point when fashion stopped imposing limits and started breaking barriers. Clothing became a language, and every unbuttoned closure, every light fabric, was a word of freedom. The question is, if fashion was capable of liberating back then, what can we still transform today? If you enjoyed this story, leave a like, share it with someone who loves fashion and history, and comment below on what surprised you most about this transformative decade. And of course, subscribe to the channel to discover the other chapters that shape the world we live in today.